Hello and welcome to another update video about UEC Uranium Energy. We've covered it a few times before on this channel. I record this video in advance, a couple of days before you see this video, just because I'm very busy end of the week, but I wanted to give you still your regular updates. So yeah, price might have changed a little bit, but it shouldn't really have changed anything significantly. Would be very surprising within a few days, but yeah, I think the overall situation is still pretty much in line with what we did say before. So we are generally bullish on uranium energy. You see there is quite a decent long-term potential here. Now disregard the timeline, please, completely. It takes as long as it takes. And I would also, be careful with really focusing too much on these targets like, $40, $200. It's far away. And we need to see if the wave counts fill in on the lower time frames. But still, though, that would be the projection. Prices around $200, maybe even $300 one day. Not impossible, but it will take a long time. Disregard the timeline completely. That can take decades, and it needs to make it. There are never guarantees. What is more interesting is in the short term here what's playing out here, but certainly it's a good start. We have an impulse to the upside into the 2010 highs, then a decade-long correction into the 2020 lows, and a nice start to a third wave rally, okay? Nice start to a third wave rally. And basically, this wave one here did what it needed to do, yeah? Came down in a correction into the 2023 lows. And this is now where we are dealing with the question, okay, is this wave two already completely in? Are we already in the third wave? That's not what I'm primarily looking for. It would be my alternative. Or are we still in the wave two? Yeah, that's my primary scenario. I have to say, though, that this uptrend is not over yet. So I see no indication the top is in. But I think we're getting very, very close to a possible top. And we're going to talk about why. But primary scenario would be that this here was an A, B, C structure, a nice three-wave move down. In my opinion, a little bit too shallow to be all of wave two. Not impossible, though, but when we talk about likely scenarios, a little bit too shallow. Also, this move to the upside of the 2023 lows was only an ABC structure, so a three-wave move, okay? So that could just be a high B wave. Until I see 5 waves up, I assume it's a high B wave. B waves can overshoot even quite a bit towards $8, I don't know, $9, possible, okay? That's what can happen if an A wave is a three-wave move. B waves can overshoot. So without a small impulse to the downside, I would not call a top in place, okay? What we want to see eventually is a 5-wave move down, possibly into this support area. It doesn't need to go that low. When a B wave overshoots, then the C wave doesn't even need to go below the low of the A wave, so it can be higher than that. This is just support. This is not a target. We can calculate the target for the C wave of wave 2 once we have the wave 2 in play, wave B in place. Typically, the 100% extension level may be longer, but we need the wave B in place to be able to calculate the target for wave C. Cannot do that yet. So if we now go to the 4-hour chart, then you see that the market is pushing higher here. We have of this low that was made in April, an ABC structure so far. I see only 3 waves, so it can absolutely be a B wave. We have here a wave 1 completed in August, wave 2 completed in August, wave 3 completed in September, wave 4 completed in October. And yeah, this could now be the wave 5 of wave C, of wave B, basically in the end game, you could say. We're approaching this descending trend line that you see on the 4-day chart. So yeah, it's not the most accurate one, but maybe even I need to even redraw that a bit. But it's basically a trend line that we've actually, you could say, already approached. So it's basically where it could easily get rejected. It's also at a place where we're very much in line with the previous swing high that was made this year, around $6.70. Also very close to the 2010 high, around $7.50. And that's also important. Again, if I go to the lower time frame again, I need to go to the daily chart. We are basically here. Let me just see something. If we did. No, that's fine. That's all good. So we have nearly approached that previous high. What I can also do is to add the retracement levels. So if we add the retracement for a high B wave, then we can calculate the maximum that it should really do. Now, there isn't really officially a maximum, but typically we say that for a high B wave, we don't want it to get above the 138% retracement of the A wave. That's the theoretical limit, but it gives you an idea. So, I mean, there is no practical limit for a B wave really that overshoots. But above $9.79, I would have to assume that wave 3 is already running, okay? Now, there are other levels that we can watch. For example, the 1.272 in between. That will be here at $8.74. So, but yeah, let's see first if it gets rejected here somewhere. Again, I will not call a top in place. I can only highlight to you that the minimum requirements here are completed. It can still stretch a little higher, possibly test a 2010 high. But yeah, I think we are close to a top. We should be, or if it forms 5 waves up, look, then we are likely already in that 3rd wave. But then we can also wait for a corrective pullback. At the moment, I would say as long as we're holding this yellow micro support area, the focus can be on higher because the C wave unfolds as an impulse. So we use the 50% retracement level as support. That's at $4.34. As long as that level is holding, I cannot confirm yet that we are in this wave 2. But what I can tell you is that already a break below the ascending trend line would be an early indication that this B wave has topped. So hopefully that makes sense somehow. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. If you're interested in daily updates about the S&P 500, as well as regular updates about stocks, then check out our Stocks and S&P 500 service. You can find a link in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.